I discovered my childhood bully was my blind date. He didn't recognize me, but I remembered everything. The profile photo was blurry, but the dating app's algorithm claimed we were a 96% match. Ryan, 29, financial analyst, loves hiking, classic movies, and authentic Italian food. His friend had set up the profile explaining, Ryan was old-fashioned about meeting people. After 3 months of dating disasters, I figured a friend-vouched blind date couldn't be worse than the guy who brought his mother along last week. We agreed to meet at Bellini's, an upscale Italian restaurant downtown. I arrived early, nervously smoothing my dress while scanning the entrance. Then he walked in, and my blood turned to ice. Ryan Miller, the same Ryan Miller who made my life hell from 6th through 9th grade, the boy who called me skeleton girl because I was painfully thin, who once spilled chocolate milk down my white shirt on picture day and told everyone I'd had an accident, who created a fake love letter from the boy I had a crush on, only to have them both laugh in my face when I believed it. I nearly ran for the exit. Instead, I took a deep breath and raised my hand. He smiled part, actually smiled part, walking confidently to my table. Emma, he asked, extending his hand. I hope I am not late. He didn't recognize me, of course he wouldn't. The braces were gone. I'd filled out in college, changed my hair color from mousy brown to auburn, even changed the way I spoke, working with a vocal coach to overcome my stutter after a supportive theater teacher suggested it. Right on time, I replied, shaking his hand firmly, the way my therapist had taught me when we worked on building confidence. Throughout dinner, I watched him carefully. He spoke passionately about his volunteer work mentoring underprivileged teens, laughed self-deprecatingly about his failed attempt at a startup, asked thoughtful questions about my career in publishing. Not once did he interrupt me or make a condescending remark, part behaviors I come to expect from men after years of dating. You know, he said halfway through his pasta, you seem so familiar. Did we go to East Ridge High together? My heart hammered. We did, I said simply, his brow furrowed. I am terrible with faces. Were we in the same grade? I took a sip of wine, buying time. I could lie, I could say I was a year ahead. I could pretend we'd never properly met. Instead, I said, we knew each other pretty well. Actually, I was Emma Pearson back then. You had a nickname for me. His face went blank, then slowly drained of color as recognition dawned, the fork in his hand lowered to his plate. Emma Skeleton Girl, Emma, he whispered, horror spreading across his face. I nodded once, maintaining eye contact. Oh my God, he said, placing his napkin on the table. I was terrible to you. Yes, I agreed calmly. You were. He looked physically ill. I don't even know what to say. I can leave if you want. I completely understand. I studied him for a moment. The popular cruel boy was gone, replaced by a man who seemed genuinely disturbed by his past behavior. Actually, I said, surprising myself, I'd like to hear about when things changed for you. People don't go from bullies to mentoring underprivileged kids without a story. For the next hour, he talked about his parents' divorce, his father's emotional abuse, and the counseling that helped him understand his behavior, about volunteering at a crisis center as part of his healing process, about making amends where he could. I never got to make amends to you, he said finally, and I am not asking for forgiveness. What I did was unforgivable. I thought about the years of therapy, the trust issues, the eating disorder I developed trying to be less skeletal. You are right, I said. Some things don't deserve forgiveness, but maybe they deserve forgiveness. We finished dinner as different people than who we'd been at East Ridge High. Not quite friends, definitely not romantic prospects, but something I hadn't expected. Two adults acknowledging a painful shared history with maturity. Sometimes the most powerful coincidence isn't finding love, but finding closure where you least expect it.